CISSP Objective 1.10 Threat Modeling Concepts and Methodologies. Threat modeling is the structured process of identifying, assessing, and prioritizing potential threats to systems and applications to design effective security controls and reduce risk. For the the CISSP certification exam for this class, we are going to concentrate on STRIDE, PASTA, the Cyber Kill Chain, DREAD, OCTAVE, and Trike. STRIDE is a threat modeling framework created by Microsoft to help identify and categorize security threats during system design and review. It focuses on 6 categories: spoofing, where an attacker impersonates a legitimate entity; tampering, which involves unauthorized data or code changes; repudiation, where actions cannot be traced back to the actor; information disclosure, where the exposure of sensitive data to unauthorized parties happen; denial of service, which disrupts systems availability; and elevation of privilege, where attackers gain higher access than permitted. By systematically analyzing each category, STRIDE enables security teams to anticipate potential vulnerabilities, implement preventive controls, and strengthen overall system resilience against attacks. PASTA, Process for Attack Simulation and Threat Analysis, is a 7-step risk-centric threat modeling methodology that approaches security from an attacker's perspective. Its stages include defining business objectives, identifying technical scope, decomposing the application, analyzing threats, identifying vulnerabilities, simulating potential attacks, and assessing business impact. By focusing on how real-world attackers might target systems, PASTA helps security teams prioritize threats based on both technical and risk and business consequences. This structured approach bridges the gap between technical security findings and organizational goals, enabling informed decision-making, effective mitigation strategies, and alignment of security measures with the most critical assets and operational requirements. The Cyber Kill Chain, developed by Lockheed Martin, is a structured framework that outlines the sequential stages of a cyber attack from an adversary's point of view. Its purpose is to help security teams understand, detect, and disrupt attacks before they succeed. It consists of 7 phases. Reconnaissance involves gathering intelligence on the target, such as network details or employee information. Weaponization is where attackers create a malicious payload tailored to the target's vulnerabilities. Delivery is the transmission of this payload, often through phishing emails, infective websites, or removable media. Exploitation occurs when the payload exploits a system vulnerability to execute malicious code. Installation follows, establishing persistence through malware, backdoors, or rootkits. Command and Control C2 is when the compromised systems connect back to the attacker infrastructure, enabling remote control. Finally, actions on objectives involve achieving the attacker's ultimate goals, such as data theft, sabotage, or espionage. By mapping adversary behavior to these stages, defenders can deploy targeted countermeasures, detect malicious activity earlier, and break the chain before critical damage occurs. The cyber kill chain is widely used in incident response, threat hunting, and security operations to strengthen defenses against advanced persistent threats, APTs, and other complex attack campaigns. The DREAD methodology is a structured approach for accessing and prioritizing security threats by assigning a score to 5 key factors: damage potential, severity of the impact if exploited, reproducibility, ease with which the attack can be repeated, exploitability, which is the effort or skill required to exploit the vulnerability, affected users, which refers to the percentage of users or systems impacted, and discoverability, which is the likelihood that the vulnerability will be found by attackers. Each factor is usually scored on a scale from 0 to 10, with the results averaged or totaled to produce an overall risk score. Higher scores indicate threats that require urgent attention, while lower scores may be addressed later. This method allows security teams to compare threats objectively and prioritize remediation efforts. Although less common today due to its subjective scoring, DREAD remains a valuable educational tool for understanding risk-based threat evaluation in security operations and development processes. OCTAVE, Operationally Critical Threat, Asset, and Vulnerability Evaluation, is a risk-based security assessment methodology developed by Carnegie Mellon University to help organizations identify and manage information security risks. Unlike purely technical models, OCTAVE focuses on the organization's critical assets and business objectives, integrating both technical and non-technical perspectives. It is typically conducted in 3 phases. 1. Build asset-based threat profiles, which identify critical assets, evaluate their value, and determine potential threats. 2. Identify infrastructure vulnerability, which assess technical weaknesses and security practices. And 3. Develop a security strategy and plans, which prioritize risks and recommend mitigation measures. OCTAVE emphasizes self-directed evaluation by cross-functional teams, combining business process knowledge with technical expertise. This approach ensures that security strategies are aligned with organizational priorities and risk tolerance. Octave is widely used in governance-driven environments, and it's valuable for organizations seeking to integrate security into broader risk management and compliance frameworks. Vast, visual, agile, and simple threat is a threat modeling methodology designed to integrate seamlessly into Agile and DevOps workflows. It emphasizes scalability, automation, and simplicity, making it practical for large, fast-moving development environments. VAST uses visual diagrams to map applications, infrastructure, and their interactions, helping teams identify potential threats without heavy documentation overhead. It supports two parallel tracks: application threat models for software components and operational threat models for infrastructure. By embedding threat modeling into continuous integration, continuous delivery, CI/CD pipelines, VAST enables ongoing risk assessment, fosters collaboration between developers and security teams, and ensures security remains an integral part of rapid development cycles. Trike is a threat modeling framework combining systems requirements, CRUD-based risk assessment, data flow diagrams, and quantitative scoring to identify, prioritize, and mitigate security risk systematically. The step-by-step process is as follows. 1. Define a system requirement model. The process begins by clearly defining the system's intended operations, actors, and assets. This is captured in a requirement model that specifies what actions are authorized for each actor. 2. Risk assessment CRUD. The model evaluates each authorized action using the CRUD concept: creating, reading, updating, and deleting. These operations are examined for possible security threats or misuse. 3. Data flow diagram, or DFD. The system's data flows are mapped to show how information moves between components, helping to visualize where threats may emerge. And 4. Assigning risk values. Each identified threat is assigned a quantitative risk value based on likelihood and impact, allowing prioritization of security controls. Trike's approach ensures comprehensive coverage by starting from authorized operations, mapping risks to those operations, and producing measurable results to guide remediation efforts. The CISSP Objective 1.10 focuses on understanding and applying threat modeling concepts and methodologies to identify, assess, and mitigate potential security threats. It involves systematically analyzing systems, applications, or processes to uncover vulnerabilities and anticipate attacker behavior. Common models include Stride, PASTA, OCTAVE, DREAD, the Cyber Kill Chain, and Trike, each offering a unique perspective on identifying and prioritizing risks. The process typically includes defining assets, mapping data flows, evaluating threats, and determining risk levels to guide mitigation strategies. By integrating threat modeling into design, development, and operational phases, organizations can proactively reduce attack surfaces and align security measures with business goals. And with this, we conclude objective 1.10. 1.10. So please remember to like my content and especially to subscribe to my channel if you find this content useful so that I can continue producing this material for free. Thank you.